Well, I wouldn't want to overstress the similarities, but one of the key similarities, I believe, is that there has been a bit of a slippage, a gap, between the way our decision makers, immediately after the First World War, saw the world and the way it was actually evolving. There have been tremendous technological changes in the course of the early part of the 20th century. The United States, in economic terms, was the most powerful country by 1910. And yet, immediately after the World War, instead of recognising the changes which are increasingly linking the world, they dealt with the defeated powers, such as Germany, in quite a punitive fashion. In other words, the way they treated Germany created the seeds of the conflict that unfolded in the 20s and the 30s. Germany was not reintegrated into the international community. It was effectively treated as a pariah state. And that created grievances which Adolf Hitler fed on. We are living in an era at the moment where we have some politicians or demagogues who are talking about turning the clock back, running the world by sovereign states again, as if globalization has not happened. This process of interconnectedness through technological innovations in digital and communication fields. And I think this is, in other words, we live in a very interconnected world, but we have politicians like the Trump administration and the Brexit leadership promising that they can recreate the past, they can deglobalize the world by bolstering the sovereignty of states. And I think there's a mismatch, in short, in both periods between the way the world really is and the way the world's being interpreted by many of the political class, if you want to put it that way. I think what the role that New Zealand can play, along with like-minded countries, which I think are the majority in the international system, is to remind those who are claiming to go back to the past, a sort of back to the future foreign policy, that there's no going back to the past, and that the majority actually need a rules-based system. When we hear countries talking about making America great again, or we hear leaders in Britain talking about rebuilding the empire, we have to gently remind them that we need an international rules-based system, and that is the majority. And I think that New Zealand and other like-minded countries can no longer depend on others to uphold the rules-based system. The rules are there for the weaker, not the stronger, but we must be firm in our defence of rules because they serve the general well-being of the international community. It's important that we preserve that. It's important we make those rules fairer and better. We must also try to, I think, do our bit to reform the rules-based order so it works more fairly for more people, not just the few.